It's an incredible understatement to say that Spider-Man 2 was my most anticipated game of the year. I haven't been excited for a game since, Spider-Man. Look, if you know this channel, you'll know for a fact that 65% of my content is movie reviews and stuff related to that. 30% is for TV shows, and 5% is for video games. So the fact that I'm talking about a video game means that this game is truly something special. I know what you're thinking. Crosby, you're literally a month late. What people have said about this game have already been said. Well, guess what? You're absolutely right. I just wanted to also throw my opinion in the ring. I'm going to be talking about how much I love this game and then in the end tell you how I felt a month later after really thinking about everything I went through. First off, let's talk about the main aspect about the game. The game. Holy shit, it's so buttery smooth. Swinging is still fun, but now that it's combined with the web wings, you get chances to have more combos and feel even more cool as you traverse. When you get thrown into combat, it's also fast and moves gracefully. Combos aren't messy at all, and it's truly thrilling. It especially gets exciting when you run into Miles or Wraith on the streets and you beat ass with your partner. The punches and blows have big impact. Miles and Peter's abilities are an absolute blast. Zapping people with Miles' lightning and then punching them in their stupid faces, then Peter has his symbiote powers that can cause total chaos. It's some of the best combat I've been a part of in a superhero game. With game tutorials, it can be very slow and tedious. Spider-Man 2 has one of the best tutorials I've ever played. The opening of the game has you introduced back to Peter and Miles. We find out Peter is now a teacher and Miles is in his class. Miles looks outside and warns Peter that Sandman is here. You swing across New York, you encounter Sandman, who is just this big ass giant. You fight his minions as his giant hand crashes into buildings. You get thrown all the way into another dimension. You switch from Peter to Miles and zap him, and then you finally defeat him, and once it's all done, you wipe the sweat off your controller and you're like, damn. That was the first 15 minutes of the game. Words cannot express how hard I was smiling as Peter and Miles both started swinging towards Margot. Speaking of Sandman and him being the first boss of the game, this game's boss fights are absolutely stellar. The lizard is just a massive creature and it served as a tutorial for the true powers of the symbiote. Venom's boss fight is absolutely brutal, and it colored me surprised because I had no idea this already terrifying asshole could grow wings. And you also get to play as Venom. Holy shit. And you fight Kraven himself as you're the Beast and he has finally found his final hunt. Then there's Miles versus Peter, and I will get into that later. New York also feels so alive. There's more cars and civilians on the street. You can glide through trees and leaves will burst out. You can slide on water, and there's people in the apartments. What is this guy in here watching? I bet he's watching The Boys or something like that. Oh, he's not watching anything. Huh. My favorite part is how fast you go when you slingshot. It's like, woo! See ya! The meat of the story is the symbiote and how it affects Peter. Peter and the symbiote is such a classic Spider-Man story. They really fumbled the bag with Spider-Man 3. You can't really develop the symbiote story in just 2 hours and combine it with 2 other villains. Here we have 15 hours worth of symbiote stuff, and for the most part it's handled perfectly. Maybe we could have had more time seeing Peter bond with the symbiote, but what we have is extremely serviceable. Controlling Peter as you slowly hear him turn more aggressive is a true treat, especially when he goes crazy mode and you can hear the growls coming from your controller. Now this is gonna sound crazy. What I'm about to say may not be credible at all. Yuri had the best performance of any video game character this year, and I've only played 4 games this year. I was so excited to see how he handled the addictive nature of Peter being obsessed with the symbiote. Like I just said, we could have spent a little bit more time with Peter and the symbiote taking over him, but Jesus, Yuri's performance makes up for that fault. It especially gets gripping when you hear how angry Peter is for no reason, and then you suddenly hear the symbiote talking and you're like, damn, maybe this guy is too far gone.
Now who needs the old Spider-Man? What's so great about the new Spider-Man anyway? He can't even stop some hunters. They destroyed the EMF. Destroyed my life. I'm going to lose May's house because of them and... Kraven.
The more corrupt Peter gets, the more crazy and wild looking the Parasite suit looks, and I absolutely love that detail. Miles versus Peter is a fight that I knew would happen, but the way it's executed is flawless. It's a boss fight that's unpredictable, that throws all the symbiote's powers at you. The music is beautiful, the fight is hauntingly epic, but one of my favorite things about this game is the dialogue during these grandiose fights.
I need this suit. It makes me a better Spider-Man. You just want it for yourself. All I want is to save you. I'm the hero. I don't get saved.
Hearing Peter say hurtful things to Miles is truly heartbreaking as you watch your favorite superhero that you play with for most of the game become this asshole and he starts using words that could cut open your other favorite superhero. Yuri's performance is a phenomenal powerhouse in this game.
Pete, come
Come on, man. Just focus on me.
But there's nothing truly more special than hearing Tony Todd's performance as Venom. His voice is chilling and sinister. What I have to say doesn't do it justice, so let me just roll the clips.
Not Harry. We are.
Look at us. We are healthy, strong. This is what you wanted, isn't it? This is where we became best friends.
Yeah, it is.
And now it's where we become brothers.
Overall, Spider-Man 2 is the greatest Spider-Man game I have ever played. I teared up, I laughed, I was locked in, I never wanted it to end. It truly is a masterpiece and deserves a 10 out of 10. Is what I would have said if I didn't have a month to sit back and truly think about my feelings. Spider-Man 2 is flawed, but I still love it with all my heart. The story is absolutely solid, but I also felt like Miles was thrown aside during the middle half of the progressing story. The Peter and Harry stuff is incredible as we finally get to see them bond, and the inevitable betrayal of Peter keeping the suit for himself, but while this is happening, Miles really doesn't have a lot to do besides have a very good satisfying arc with his confrontation with Martin Lee, the man who killed his father. All this stuff is well rounded and even emotional as Najee Jeter gives an excellent performance as Miles Morales. I guess I just wish there was more equal amounts of storytelling between the two Spider-Men. What we have here is 60% a Spider-Man sequel and 40% a Miles Morales sequel. It's not entirely even, but it doesn't absolutely ruin the final project whatsoever. This may come as a skill issue, but I hate the parrying system. It's fun in concept, but I always end up dodging instead of parrying. When you need to dodge, Peter and Miles' head will turn red, but now enemies have that exact same thing, which is when you need to parry. So when it gets crowded as hell, it gets a little confusing trying to keep it up. But again, I might just suck at the game in places. The side missions are so hit or miss, it's crazy. I was not expecting to get teary-eyed at 2 of the side missions of the game, and that Spider-Verse one was absolutely dope.
Wait, who's Miguel?
Because you're black!
The race stuff is pretty cool, but this one alongside the Chameleon one has such a lame payoff because you can easily tell it's just to set up DLC. But I could forgive all of this if Miles' suit didn't look so horrendous for the final part of the game.
What the fuck are you wearing? It's time for a Miles Morales original, you know? One of one. That shit's ass, bro.
Despite those flaws, I still have the same opinion of this game. Spider-Man 2 is the greatest Spider-Man game I have ever played. I teared up, I laughed, I was locked in, I never wanted it to end. It was truly special and an absolute masterpiece.